Well, welcome to the very first and official Young Vineyard podcast. I have such a heart for the next generation and for Young Vineyard, and I'm just so humbled and just so thankful for all of the people that have taken time to be at Young Vineyard on a Sunday morning to invest in the next generation. And this is my way of investing in you. I want to invest in you. I want to set you up for success. I want you to know your students in your small group. I want you to get to know them on a personal level, not just on Sundays. And again, I just want to set you all up for success. And by doing that, I just want to give away anything that I have. And so I thought it would be easy to connect throughout the week, whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening on a podcast. So first, I just want to get behind the heart of Young Vineyard. I grew up in youth group at the Vineyard, and it was some of my most special times being a part of a youth group. In middle school, I really had a hard time really just going to school in general. Like, I hated going to school, and I would skip as much as possible, like from elementary up. I just did not do well in school. I mean, I had friends and stuff, but I did not want to be there. But everything shifted when I started youth group. And whenever I started going to youth group, we had Wednesday nights, and we didn't start until like later on. I think it was like 6 o'clock or something. But my cousin and I, we would get there early. Like, as soon as school was out, we were like, take us to youth group, because that's where all my friends were. And I knew that there were people there that actually cared about me. And also being at youth group, it really just made my relationship with Jesus my own. I am a pastor's kid, for those of you that know. So it can be very easy to feel like your relationship with Jesus is because of your parents. But when I had my own space and my own place in Young Vineyard, it really gave me that place to be like, oh, my relationship with Jesus is my relationship with Jesus. And that's really where I discovered that with the help of my small group leader. I distinctly remember being in 6th grade and being at church on a Wednesday night and sharing with my small group leader. She asked something about, like, I don't even remember the exact question. It was something about like your relationship with Jesus and Christianity and where that's at. And I was like, I remember my answer was, well, I'm close to God because I'm at church all the time. And she's like, that doesn't make you close to God. Just being at church doesn't make you, have this great relationship with Jesus. It's your one-on-one personal relationship. It's your relationship with Jesus, not just because of who your parents are or because they bring you to church all the time. It's yours, and that's a friendship with God. And from that moment, it was like a light switch clicked on, and I was like, oh my gosh, my relationship with Jesus is my relationship with Jesus. And I took that ownership, and youth group became this safe place for me to, one, be myself, and two, for me to, again, discover that friendship, that relationship with Jesus. And so that's my desire. That's my heart, is that every youth student that comes to our youth group at Young Vineyard finds their relationship with Jesus and is free to be themselves, to be comfortable. I don't know about them, but I wasn't super comfortable at school. I felt uncomfortable. I felt like teachers were always trying to get onto me. I felt like get onto me, I mean, as in like getting in trouble. I always felt like they were out to get me, I guess is a better way to say that. I always felt like I was waiting just to be in trouble or to be, whatever, because I was pretty social. I was always in trouble for like laughing and talking with people, or really just not doing a good job in school. I really felt like I couldn't do well, again, because I didn't want to be there, and I did struggle in school. But again, my point is that youth group, Young Vineyard, would be a place where students can come and be themselves and not feel like there's a leader chomping at the bit to, get onto them about something or to get in trouble. I never want it to be a place like that. But again, just a place for them to find themselves through Jesus and to feel safe and to feel comfortable. A great example of someone starting off in youth and then later on being a leader is obviously, I think, myself, right? I started out with that. I started out as a student, and now I'm the Young Vineyard youth pastor. But then I think of students like Brady. Brady's been helping out. He started in Vineyard Kids. He was just as from a small age, his mom brought him and his brothers to Vineyard Kids. And he was just grew up in church. Then he went on youth trips with us, and he was a part of Young Vineyard as a teenager. He was a bouncing off the walls crazy teenager, but hey, he was there, and it was kind of one of those things that, like, as a leader, you don't really know how much they're really taking away. Like, are they just here to hang out with their friends? Probably, but this is the place to do it. And he was there, and it was wonderful just having him a part of our group, even though we can't always see what God is doing. God knows what he's doing with the students that are there. So it's our job as leaders to still invest in them. Even if it seems like they're just there to play the games, great, bring them on. We want them to play the games at youth group, even if it just seems like they're there to just down a pack of Capri Sun and eat all the Cheez-Its, great. That's why we buy snacks every week. Like, we want them there no matter what the reason is. We want them there because at the time we may not see it, but God sees. And so later on, now Brady is our thriving Young Vineyard leader. He is now a small group leader in Young Vineyard within the last couple months, and we're getting ready to go on a youth trip, and he's going to lead his own group there on the trip. And he's stoked about it. He has passion for it. He's fired up about it, and he's grown up in Vineyard Youth Group. And I can't think of a better scenario of someone growing up in your Vineyard Kids than growing up in Vineyard Youth Group and then being a leader to then give back and serve the group as a whole. Like, that's ideal. That's dream right there. And so I'm so thankful for you, Brady. Hopefully you're listening to this. And we want more Bradys, right? We want more Valeries. We want more people that, not like to talk about myself in that way, but I do want to acknowledge what God did in my life, right? It's not about what I did, but because God brought me to youth group, because God put the right people in the right place, I feel like I'm in the right place as an adult. I don't dread coming to work. I don't dread being, an adult because I know that I'm in the right space. And that started in 6th grade, and I'm 29 years old now. And I would love, love, love for that to be the same case for every single student in our youth group, for them to later be pastors or be people in the workplace that are leading people to Jesus because of the experience that they had in youth group. So that's really just my goal, is to empower each and every volunteer in our youth group to take ownership. Your group is your group. And I want every volunteer to feel like they can have everyone's phone number. They can text them throughout the week. They can encourage them because most of them, they do have to go to school. And so encouraging them throughout the week that they can make it through the school week, or that they can do things with them, go to Starbucks, during the week or whatever it may be, because the relationship is so, so important. We can't just keep it confined to a Sunday. I mean, that would be like our relationship with God. Like, if we only confine it to a Sunday, how good of a relationship is that? That would be like me seeing my husband once a week. Like, what would I really know about him? Or how would I really feel connected to him? That's the same way with our relationship with God. We can't confine God to a Sunday. Then how good would our relationship be with God if we only connect with him on a Sunday? Or with our youth students, if we're only connecting with them on a Sunday, how well do we really know our youth students? And so I just really want to push that back into the volunteers' hands, because at the end of the day, like, I don't want to do it all. I can't do it all. And that's why God brings more and more people together. That's why I'm never going to be a one-man show, or there's never going to be one main leader. We have to have each other, because someone's going to connect with a student in a way that I could never. We had a new student actually on Sunday. He came in, it was his first time. He's never been to church before. And I'm like talking to him like, how'd you hear about the Vineyard? Do you want a snack? What grade are you in? What school do you go to? And I'm like trying to talk to this teenage guy, and I realize I really don't have anything to say to a 16-year-old teenage boy. Brady, come over here and come talk to this, brand new student. We're so glad he's here. I don't really know what to say to him. So I bring Brady over. And Brady, they hit it off like they've been hanging out their whole life. And there's just something about it, having different personalities in the youth group, and different genders and different people and different, God gives us all different gift mix. God gives us all different abilities and ways to connect with different people. And so that's why we so need each other. And we need the different personality types. And so that's really just my heart, is that each volunteer would just know how cherished they are on Sundays, to then better the generation that's to come. I also just want to reiterate on the verse in the Bible in Timothy, it says, don't let anyone look down on you because you are young. Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young. That could be for a young Vineyard student that might be listening to this. It could also be for just a young volunteer. But I think there's another layer to that it doesn't always mean, to me, I don't interpret that verse as just age. That could, in this context, you could also take that verse as young spiritually. Like maybe you're fresh out the gate, like you're just getting to know who Jesus really is. You're still learning the Bible. We're all lifelong learners, right? Like I'm still studying the Bible and I'm going to until I die. Like that's just part of it because God is always renewing it and refreshing it. And so don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, one, because of your age, but two, where you're at, spiritually. You could be spiritually young and still lead a small group. You can be spiritually still figuring things out. You can still be learning about Jesus and the Bible and still lead a group. There's none such thing as not being, equipped enough or not knowing enough about Jesus or not knowing enough about the Bible to be able to lead a group. Now, there might be questions that come up that maybe you can't answer. And I've had times like that. Let me get back to you with that. And you know what happens when we don't answer things right away, when we don't come back with this quick, well, it's right here in the Bible and this is what it means and boom, 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 boom. And sometimes we do answer like that, right? I have a tendency to answer like that sometimes, but sometimes we say, let me think about that. I don't know where that's at in the Bible. Let's grab our Bibles and find out together. And it brings you and the student on the same level of saying, hey, we serve this really, really big God and we're still figuring him out together. And let's come alongside and learn more about Jesus together and let's grow together. It takes that away of kind of what I was talking about earlier, where you're in school and the teacher's got it all figured out and the student's less than, and the student feels like they're going to say the wrong thing or they don't know everything. Or for me, I always felt like I was dumb. I always felt like I was stupid in school. But whenever your small group leader says, that's a good question, I don't know either, let's figure it out together, it just brings the student and the leader back on the same level, because at the end of the day, like, discovering God together is kind of what it's all about, right? And so being able to do those things together, and really it's humbling, right? Because we're not leaders because we want some title. We're not leaders because we want to be some type of way or because we want people to look up to us and we want to be this and that. We're leaders because we believe in what Jesus is doing and we want to lead students towards Jesus. We're just leading them towards Jesus. And so I really want to, again, just invest in you as a volunteer and invest in the next generation. And I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to this, to watch this. This is the very first one of more podcasts, more YouTube videos. And I just really want to put out whatever God has put on our heart. Our youth group is growing. We've doubled in numbers we switched our youth time last November from being Sunday night to Sunday morning, and we've doubled in our numbers every Sunday. And I just really feel this urgency as our group is growing to really equip you volunteers, to really equip myself, to really equip the people that God has put in our youth, then to lead the students. That the time is now, as we're in our new youth series, the time is now. It's so true. The time is now to step up, to learn about what God is doing, and to learn about our students and to understand them a little bit more so, again, we can lead them to Jesus. So thank you so much for listening to this, and I hope you have a great week. I can't wait to do it all again this Sunday.